Teaching is probably the most rewarding profession there is. It's like being the boss of a classroom. My students and subjects basically the same. Are y'all ready to work together and learn about calculus today?
Yeah!
Team bonding experience.
Yeah!
And one way I know that that's the most rewarding profession is I get gifts. And, you know, sometimes gifts, they can range, you know, on more, sometimes on the sour apple side of the apple scale of gifts. But, you know, it's still a gift. And, you know, what's really important about the appleness of the gifts is the vitamin C really keeps you going. F, T, and C. Who can tell me what these letters mean?
Fun times at camp.
Close, but no.
Fun times with cats. Oh.
Even closer. Andy, what?
Fundamental theorem of calculus.
Okay, you got it, dude. You got it. If there's one thing that I'd like to teach you guys, it's the fundamental theorem of calculus. It says that the integral from a to b of f of x dx is equal to the antiderivative of b minus the antiderivative of a. It's widely applicable, and you're going to use it.
It's so aggravating, you know, especially when your fellow peers mess with you. Who put my calculator in degrees? This is preposterous.
Why? What's the problem?
Somebody put my calculator in degrees. I cannot work in an environment where my calculator is in degrees.
Okay, guys, this is calculus class. I don't know who did this, who thinks it's fun.
Changing the calculator from radians to degrees is a serious sin in my book. You can't do anything in calculus without having your calculator in radians, and if it's in degrees, then everything is just wrong. It's just wrong.
The fundamental
I
theorem
just
of
don't think that we should continue. Who put his calculator in degrees?
Angela,
Thank you.
what is the problem here?
Who put his calculator in degrees? You cannot just continue.
It's really an easy
You
fix.
can't.
Why? Do you know how to put a calculator back in radians?
Well, I mean, yes, of course, but
Well,
I mean,
then do it. Do it.
Yes, yes, sir.
Now what's the problem? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll pull that prank on Dwight.
Did you put his calculator
A.
in degrees?
B.
No. Did you do it?
F of x.
No.
Did you put his calculator in degrees?
Why would I put his calculator in degrees?
It is equivalent.
I'm Dwight. Beats Bears and Battlestar Galactica. All right, you gotta remember to put plus C at the end of your integrals. It's a plus C law. It's not even a real law. It's just, but it's mandatory. And I don't know, man. You have to put plus C, and it gets me every single time.
Chain rule. The derivative of a chain rule is f of x, or f prime of x, I'm sorry. F prime of x times f of x g of x. That's it.
I think my favorite theorem for calculus is the mean value theorem, but there's two mean value theorems. There's one for derivatives and there's one for integrals. I always thought that was kind of cool. So, that's
I mean, life's just really limitless. I mean, like, I used to be a boxer and like a math professor, and here I am taking calculus all over again. But it's cool how limitless life is. And there's this one guy named he's got this great rule, you see, that like, he just brings all the limits back into play. And so if you can't find the limit of something, or the limit's infinite, or you think it doesn't exist, you just take the derivative of the top and put the derivative of the bottom. Thanks, hospital.
I guess my favorite thing I learned this year was, or I guess really didn't learn, was slope fields. Ryan did that for me also.
My favorite rule is the rule that says the derivative of x to the n is in x to the n minus 1.
My favorite thing that I learned, I'm not sure what it's called, but I just know that f of a has to exist, and the limit as x approaches a has to exist. And the last one, friends, is the limit as x approaches a has to equal f of a. So always keep that in mind because it's going to be on the test.
My favorite thing that I learned this year was that average rate of change is slope.
I decided I'd learn it.
Will you tell us what the mean value theorem is?
F prime of C is equal to f of B minus f of A over B minus A.
Everything that I learned in AP Calculus would be average value theorem. It is 1 over B minus A of the integral from A to B of f of x d of x.
Magic tricks is like y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and it is like the slope. And I've learned that my whole life. Now I know it.
Advice to next year's calculus class. Do your homework.
You know, my advice for next year's seniors taking AP Calculus would just be to, review as much as you can for the calculus test, because you never know what's going to be on it. You never know. You never know. You never know. Only Miss Carey knows.
My advice to the next class would be make like study groups. I feel like if Michael and I were in a study group, we could get along really well. But
It's not true, Toby. I still hate you.
Make sure that you study because, going for some tutoring, get that help you really need in life.
Advice for the calculus class. I guess I'd say don't copy off anyone else. I mean, that's what I did all year. I just copied off Brian. He let me copy all his work, but then I failed the test. So don't do that. Don't copy off your work.
My advice for next year's calculus class would be to take the AP journals seriously. They look like the AP test.
Do your homework, and whenever Miss Carey gives you extra credit, you should actually do it because she gives you lots of good grades.
My advice to next year's AP Calculus class is that always come to class prepared, always have your homework ready to be graded, and everything all ready to go.
my advice is to show up to class whenever possible because every day is an opportunity to learn in Miss Carey's class.
My advice is to always eat before class.
They say don't miss a lot of school because I missed a lot for my anger management classes that I've not yet confronted Jim about.
AP Calculus, this is Pam.
So, capital F. Actually, that's really good.